The final season has begun. So, will Jon Snow and Daenerys get married, which is really disgusting in light of certain revelations? Or will she meet Captain Jack Sparrow and marry him?
Game of Thrones is on tonight. It's the series finale. Khaleesi is marrying Jack Sparrow. Oh, God, that show has really gone off the rails.
Look, it makes sense if you've read the books.
Welcome to Durbania. I'm Durbin.
I'm Laura.
And this is our spoiler talk review for Episode 1, Season 8 of Game of Thrones. Now that we have entered the final season of Game of Thrones, how high were your expectations for this episode?
Well, it's not that my expectations are super high because it is the first one and it's got to build, but it was higher than what I received. I mean, I liked what I got because that's a lot of characters that they had to jam into. It said it was 66 minutes on HBO, and I just went, that's a lot of stuff that they have to bring around. And it was I think I wanted more. I wanted more of the build up and the growth, which I'm pretty sure I'm going to get in the next episode.
Yeah, well, I mean, I think definitely as the season unfolds, what you're wanting to get, we're going to get.
Yes, I just haven't received it yet, but I enjoyed it.
This was the episode where everything sort of had to come together, and I think kind of what I liked about this episode, there's always so much going on in this show, and I feel like, for me personally, things got a little bit simplified. There's the North and what's going on there, and most of the characters that Laura and I love find themselves now in Winterfell and the North. There's the South with Cersei.
It'd be awesome if Bronn took the crossbow that she gave him and shot her with it instead. Queenslayer! Okay,
and then you have the Iron Islands, which might be interesting now because it might be the place for the North to retreat.
Yes, that was something that Yara Greyjoy kind of said to Theon before she let Theon go join the Starks. Which you don't see him join the Starks, but you know he's headed there. She just said, she's like, well, we'll be a place for them to retreat to. And I'm like, interesting. Is that foreshadowing?
Yeah.
Or, because that's being very smart, being the queen of her land, doing that. So I'll be interested to see how that plays out later down the road.
I'll be interested to see how that plays out too. I liked this episode overall, but like you said, it's not the most exciting episode because it's the episode that kind of is the setup for everything as it goes down.
Yes.
And I thought some things were ominous, like the Iron Islands being the place for the North to retreat to should things go really bad.
Yes, but that was just like a simple one-sentence remark.
But it was an ominous sentence, because you gotta think, if you're writing a show and you're writing this stuff and you want things to be in people's minds, do you think that was an Easter egg? Do you think that was a foreshadowing moment, like as we get deeper into the season, because you know things gotta start going right, looking good, crap, and everything takes a twist the wrong way, so you gotta think that line was there for a reason.
Yes. And now that we definitely know that Jon is a Targaryen,
yes,
I am not surprised that he rode a dragon in this episode at all.
That was probably my favorite scene, to watch Daenerys and Jon riding dragons together.
Yes, and it's like, and all the Winterfell people, everybody who's at Winterfell saw him because, you know, at first he was trying to hang on and, you know, the dragon kind of, it was a cool scene of him flying his dragon. It's not his, it's because dragons can't be owned. But it just shows that the dragon can sense the Targaryen blood in him.
Yes.
Because I don't think, it's, back in the day I wanted Arya, I wanted Tyrion, and I wanted them to be able to ride one of the dragons. I wanted Bronn until he became the Three-Eyed Raven to fly one of the dragons.
You mean Bran?
Yes. Well, I actually wanted Bronn too. It's like all these characters that I liked. I'm like, oh, they're going to be a dragon rider. But,
I mean, episode to episode, it varied who her favorite character was, and whoever her favorite character was, she wanted to be a dragon rider.
So
you know,
true.
The thing that's really sad to me in watching this episode, and maybe it's just a testimony to how good, like, these characters are, but, like, when Jon and Daenerys are riding those dragons, and it's just that really fun scene as they're flying around the North, it's like, man, those characters are both so awesome, they are so strong, and they have such great chemistry together, except that they're related. I think for sure, with Sam revealing it to Jon Snow.
I'm so glad that happened in this episode. I would have been so annoyed
if
it took like half the show, or the season.
But you know a wedge was definitely driven there in their friendship, or the friendship between Jon Snow and Daenerys when he finds out that he's that true king. Like, you know there's something has to happen now.
It's kind of like how Sam said. It's like, you bent to need to save your kingdom. would she bend a knee to save hers?
No, he surrendered his crown to save the people.
Sorry, yeah.
Would she surrender her crown to save the
hers.
people? And it's like,
and
I don't think so.
The question is, I don't think she would either. And so that's something where Jon's now got a whole new world of stuff that he's got to think about. He's got to decide if he's going to tell this to Daenerys.
Yes.
And where we're going to go from there. So, this is just...
Well, see, actually...
I feel bad for him because he was, like, happy and in love again for the second time on the show.
Yeah, that's true.
And Sansa also said something interesting. Sansa's not one of my favorite characters. I never wanted her to be a dragon rider. But when she said... She's like, did you, take a knee because you loved her? Or because... You believed in her. Or, you wanted her to be your queen. Yeah. And so I'm just like... that's interesting thoughts. I'm like, because, would he have taken a knee if he didn't love her?
And that's I think
he would have too, because he believed in saving the people and he knows what the... I interrupted you.
I think he genuinely came to believe in her. So I think it's a mixture of both. I think he is in love with her, and I think it's because, like, he sees her strength and sees what's good about her. Up until this episode, I didn't care whether it was going to be Daenerys or Jon Snow that sat on the Iron Throne. I just didn't care because I thought either one of them was great. But it was Sam's question there at the very end where he said, you gave up your crown for your people. Would she do the same for hers? That flipped me on that. Now, it's like, no, I think Jon Snow has to sit on that throne. I feel like of all the people we've seen volley for that throne, all the darkness we've seen...
Jon's the only one who doesn't want it.
Yeah, but of all the people that we've seen in this world, they're greedy, they're dark, they're evil, they're disgusting. I mean, all of these things put together. And then you have Jon Snow, who is probably the most innocent, the most wise, the most strong, the most virtuous and valiant character, and the most humble, because he gave up a crown for his people, knowing that they are stubborn.
They would be dead, and they probably without... the thousands of people.
But that tells me now it has to be Snow that sits on the throne. It has to be Snow. Before I was like, I don't care which, but
Targaryen now.
Well, yes, but he's still Jon Snow, okay? the core of what I want on the throne exists in that guy.
What I hope is, if the show progresses and he does take the throne and he stops using the name Snow, because that's not his real name, he actually decides to take the name Stark. I don't know if he has a say in that, because he's a Stark.
Well,
he was raised by the Starks. He's a Stark.
Yeah.
His family's a Stark. His name might be Targaryen, but he's a Stark.
That's true. I will be curious to see. Jon Snow is the one I'm like, I think everybody's been watching Jon Snow. But now that Jon Snow actually knows the truth of himself, and he's got this crazy thing going on with Daenerys, it has taken the interesting level of what is he going to do and what decisions is he going to make, and it's just elevated to like 11. So I'm very curious to see what he's going to do.
Now, when we were watching this, you just kept talking about a wild card.
Bran.
The three-eyed raven.
Oh, man. See, and then even when you have Bran talking to Sam and saying, now's the time, tell Jon. It's like, this is like a strategic game. It's like Bran knew this is the time and this is the moment that you have to tell Jon Snow right now. It's like it's like a game of chess. It's like there is something afoot, and only Bran sees the whole game, sees the whole picture.
Yes, and I'm very curious to know what was going through Bran's mind as Jaime Lannister got off. That was a good moment. Yes, because I'm sitting there looking at that, and Jaime was just like petrified, like, uh-oh. And
Bran's just sitting there like.
Well, because Bran has, like, no emotion. But the thing is, he looked like he was staring daggers at him. And if it were me, that's what staring daggers would probably look at. And that's just his no emotion face that he always has. So I'm curious to know what Jaime's thinking.
But since he has no emotion, the staring daggers must mean the complete picture that he's seeing. And he's seeing the part Jaime has in this whole thing.
Yes, and hopefully Jaime doesn't try to kill him.
I doubt it.
At this point,
Jaime,
it's too late.
I think Jaime has totally changed.
Oh, I think Jaime's a whole new person. I'm really glad he's actually at that, and he'll be with, his brother. He'll be with Brienne. He'll be with, Bronn's not there yet, but
Bronn will be there.
Yeah, and hopefully.
I don't think Bronn will kill either of them. I think he might be tempted, but I don't think he's going to go through because he became friends with both brothers.
Yeah, but that doesn't mean anything to him. Gold. He always talks about that.
I know, but maybe I just have too much faith in people. I don't know.
I know that to me, that's our wild card is Bronn.
See, my wild card is Bran, the kid who sees
Bran is
the
also
entire
a
picture.
wild card to me, but he knows that they need to be fighting. He's like, we need to stop this. We've got to go fight.
Yeah.
Like, as soon as Jon and Daenerys show up, he's like, okay, we're good. Let's go fight. He didn't say it like that, but, you know.
It was fun watching Arya's expression at the beginning of this episode. Like, Jon Snow rides in and she's excited. And then the Hound rides in and she's like angry.
Yeah.
And then somebody else rides in and she's happy. It was really funny to read her face as everybody was riding into Winterfell.
Yeah, people that she's met in her travels. And I also like when she ran into Jon for the first time.
Yes.
And Jon's like, how'd you sneak up on me? Because she's, you know... a woman of many faces.
I'd be happy if somehow she ended up on the Iron Throne. She has no legal claim to it, but
Oh, no.
I would be interested
I would
to
not
see
want her there at
what
all.
would she be
But
like
it
in
was
that
just
position.
interesting because, you know, he's like, oh, have you used it? Her sword needle. And she's like, a couple times. You know, kind of like all innocent. Like, yeah, you know nothing about me. But at least, you know, I'm glad the family is back together.
Yes.
It's kind of like, you know, when everybody goes into separate directions, it's always nice when everybody gets together. So I'm glad that they're together. And I'm not looking forward to being pissed at Cersei during this season, but I know it's going to come.
It's gonna come.
Yes.
It's just what's gonna happen in Cersei and anyway.
Yes. But just so you know, we are reviewing this episode, the first one, and then we will wait until the end of the season to review all of season 8 at once.
So, like Laura said, we're reviewing this episode, and then after the final episode, we'll do a series finale review, reviewing the season, our positives, our negatives. So, looking forward to diving into that. But this is our first episode review of the final season, and kind of our thoughts of that episode, and kind of what we're looking forward to.
Yes.
In the end, I want Jon Snow to sit on the Iron Throne. What do you think's gonna happen? How is he gonna get it? He's gonna have to go to war with Daenerys.
What do you think?
You
Tell
know
us
that?
in the comments below.
Yes, so go to those comments. Let us know what you think is going to happen this season. While you're there, hit the subscribe button to become a Durbanian. Hit the bell by the subscribe button so you're notified for our next movie review, ranking video, theological analysis, or anything else we do here. I'm Durbin.
I'm Laura.
Thanks for checking out Durbania.